Hello everybody, welcome back to Memory Gamma. Today we're going to continue with our faction pack looks and move on to the Dominion. So in case you have missed the other ones, these packs in 2017, they brought out the new Federation versus Klingon starter pack and also a Dominion and a Romulan starter pack, as it were, in a faction box. It was meant to be a sort of soft reset and good for people who were just starting to collect the game and also bring it forward into the modern era. So it had some updated card text, layout of some cards was slightly different, pointing was ever so slightly cheaper, and there was a few other minor sort of changes. For people that already were playing the game, or any ships in here, generic ships that in the later faction packs, all of the previous ones are repointed to the new price point. So as I said in the last video with the Romulans, the generic Jem'Hadar went to 25 points rather than 28. So all generic Jem'Hadar are now 25 points according to the official WizKids rules. So this is the Dominion. Now this is the very important. This is the Dominion. Technically it's the Jem'Hadar. There are two Dominion faction packs. There is this one and there is the Cardassian Union. Now, Cardassian Union got its own faction pack, even though it's part of the Dominion main faction. The Cardassians got their own faction pack with their own upgraded ships for the Galor, the Keldon, and Gul Dukat. So this here is just Vorta Founders Jem'Hadar. So, as with the last ones, I'm going to go through, I'm going to put the ships up, go through the abilities, go through the points costs, go through the crew, the captains and everything. There is not an awful lot in the packs. Generally, there's 4 ships, 4 captains, elite talents for all the talent slots you get, and then enough crew, weapons and tech to fill up the slots. And at the end, I'll give you here are my top picks of cards from this pack. So, we're going to start with the 2nd Division battleship, the Jem'Hadar battleship. Now, these are absolute units of a ship. 6 attack dice, 7 hull, 5 shields for a combined 12 durability, 6 attack dice. Now, no agility. Base agility 0. These things absorb damage but do not evade. They also are one of the very few ships that doesn't have evade on the action bar. It can still have evade tokens. It's not a large ship, so it doesn't stop you from getting evade tokens. But realistically, this is not a defensive ship. This is your ship that deals damage and just absorbs damage. The maneuver dial also, you may see, the only greens are straight. 1, 2, but 3 straight as well. Even the 1 banks are white, which is a rarity. You know, it's an absolute rarity. I think this is the only class of ship in the game where the 1 banks are not green. Obviously, the oversized ship, Borg Cube and DS9 have different maneuver dials. They don't even have 1 banks. But I think all ships that have 1 banks, this is the only ship class that doesn't get them at green. Even turning slightly is painful for these things. However, triple weapon, double crew tech. Now, only a 90 forward. It does have a secondary firing arc, which is a 45-degree forward, like the modern Cavort class from the Federation Klingon starter. So that they turn up more often these days. They turn up with 45-degree, what's called bullseye arcs in other games. I think Star Wars X-Wing has the bullseye arc, which is either a 45-degree middle forward or a straight line one. This one here has a 45-degree secondary arcs facing forwards, which is useful for weapon cards, but it does mean that you have no side or rear firing ability. Sorry, cup of tea. So, these things do not maneuver. It's quite easy to get around the back. However, the ability, in the end phase, if you did a green maneuver, repair a hull or a shield. So provided you only move straight, little moves, free repair. Now, of course, you can throw additional abilities on this ship. There are several upgrades which enable you to make 2 banks or 1 banks or 3 or whatever extra maneuvers into green maneuvers. Anything you can do with that makes this ship better. Anything you can do to give it more options to keep itself repairing is a good idea. Otherwise, absolute beast. Next ship, Jem'Hadar Battle Cruiser. Now, this is slightly smaller, so it gains an agility and gains an evade token on the action bar. 5 attack dice, combined 11, so it only loses 1 point of hull, but it gains an evade dice and evade on the action bar. So these things can be quite defensive if you really want them to be. Again, forward 90 only. Green banks, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2 straight. 2 hard turns at white, which is amazing given how big these ships are canonically. But also a 4 come about at red. Yes, red. But a 4 come about, which on this level of power is brilliant. It's got double tech, double crew weapon, full normal action bar, and all Jem'Hadar attack ships within range 1 roll +1 defense dice. Now that is every time they defend. So I've got a fly in here as well. And it affects, so it's all Jem'Hadar attack ships. So the little bug fighters, which you'll see in a minute. Now, that is good. The Dominion, especially the Jem'Hadar, are almost entirely focused around synergy. Other Dominion ships nearby get bonuses, give bonuses to other Dominion ships, help for any Dominion ships. If you have Dominion ships nearby, do this. There's an awful lot of stay close together and fly as a formation, and this just lends into it. Generic ships, the generic battleship, generic battle cruiser, lose the abilities, lose a shield. The generic battle cruiser loses a tech slot. The generic battleship loses a weapon slot. They're nice. 29 points is a massive thing about it. That there's 35. And it would have been originally 6, 11, 18, a 38. So that's 3-point discount. That there is 6 points cheaper than that. So that there is an enormous discount from its original price point of 34. So that's a 5-point discount. So that's a really big, sorry, not 34, 36 even, sorry. So yeah, that's a really, really, really big discount, which makes it, again, some people would say that makes it good. Some people would say it makes it okay. A problem I have with the Jem'Hadar is everything they have is forward firing. Now that sets their ethos, and that's exactly how the Dominion should be played. If they get behind you, well, you did it wrong. The Dominion are designed to be always attacking. Everything should be in front of you. That's why a lot of their ships, even their battle cruiser, has a come about. We now have 2 named attack ships, and then the generic attack ship underneath. So the first one is, if there is a Jem'Hadar ship, attack ship within range 1, it gets an extra attack dice. Very nice. And the other one is you get +2 defense dice if there's a Jem'Hadar attack ship within range 1. So you fly these 2 together, and the 6th wing becomes a 4 attack. The 2nd wing becomes a 4 defense. Nice. Passive bonus for being near friends. Now the bug fighters, as they're colloquially known, are really quite nice. You know, you get 6 green maneuvers, only red to come about, normal Federation action bar, 3-2, 3-3, so nice solid stat line. Only 16 points for double crew weapon tech. Then that would have been 22, so that's a 6-point discount. So that's a big, big discount, and you can put in a lot of these. These become very, very nice swarm ships. Again, they do compare against the Burrell. The Burrell has 4 attack dice and only 1 evade compared to 3-2. So the Burrell is slightly more offensive. The Jem'Hadar bug fighter is a bit more well-rounded, but both of them work really well as swarm builds. And then the 2nd wing is identical in all respects apart from the ability. The generic ship is 13 points. 13 points for a 3-2-3-2 with all crew weapon tech. So just throw a load of them down. You can put 4, 5 of these down. 5 of them is 75 points. In a 130 fleet, you can quite happily upgrade all of them with at least a couple of cards and still be under 130. And that gives you 5 ships. Might be small, but very maneuverable. So that's the end of our ships. Going to captains. There is 4 captains here, but actually I'm only going to put 3 of them in because we have an admiral. So we'll do the admiral first because she's here. The female changeling. Salome Jens as the main changeling we see in the series is besides Odo. Now this is her first outing in the game. You might think that this is a bit overdue, and yes, it very much is. Very much like Tomalak in the Romulan faction pack. You should have had a good version a long time ago. You would have thought she would have been in a long time ago. However, She gives you a 9 skill captain for 6 points with a talent slot. That's really nice. Her action is decrease the captain skill of your captain by 1. So her action is make her a skill 8 captain for this round. And you get to do an action bar action and a Dominion crew action as free actions. So you lose a point of captain skill, but you do double action. It's a sort of a play on the original Picard, letting you a second action bar action gives you an action bar action as a free action. There's a lot of in the second edition, as it were. There is lots of these kind of abilities where people most factions got themselves a sort of a pseudo Picard, allowing you to use 2 things. You do 2 actions per turn. A modern Shinzon, I'll get to him later. Dahar Master for the Klingons, again, I'll come to that later. Female Changeling, that sort of thing. So, she is really quite nice. I do like her. As an Admiral, she's a +2 Admiral. So, again, +2 skill, talent slot, 6 points, and as a fleet action, which means any ship at range 1 to 2 can use their action to trigger her on their ship. So if you've got, if your battleship is running around with a bug fighter next to it, and your bug fighter has got a crew action that he needs to do this round, its action could be use female changeling. Its captain skill will go down by 1, but it would get to do its crew action and an action bar action as a free action. Nice. Good action economy there. For captains, we have Deus. Now, Deus is, for anyone that is a Star Trek nerd, I'll give you a second here to shout out where he's from. And now where he's from is, he is the commandant of the Dominion prisoner of war camp, where Worf and Garrick are taken when they are captured, where they meet Bashir, who's been in prison for a long time, and the real General Martok, where he's been for 2 years, and also where Garrick and Unabra and Tain have their final meeting. In Purgatory Shadow and by Inferno's Light, I do believe. So he is the commandant of that ability of that asteroid. Now his ability, he is a 6 skill captain for 4 points with no talent slot. So that's okay. That's straying into territory where we're not so happy. But his action is target a friendly ship at range 1 to 2. They get to re-equip a crew upgrade that was discarded from their ship, but they can't fire this round. So he can't target himself, but for example, he can be on the battleship and he can go, oh, the battle cruiser, you had one of your crew upgrades discarded by an enemy effect. He can give that card back to that ship. It does stop that ship from attacking this game round. It doesn't stop you from attacking, it stops them from attacking. So it's not something you do in the heat of battle. But it is something, if, for example, you've triggered an ability to get a bonus and it discards the crew, you can use him to get that crew member back so they can do it again later. If they're not needing to attack this round, all the more better. So, nice ability. The lack of a talent slot does problem. However, up till now, no Vorta has had a talent slot apart from Wei Yun, because Wei Yun deserved one. However, now we have Yelgrun. Yelgrun, again, guest star for anyone who wants to shout it out. It's the musician Iggy Pop as Yelgrun when the Quark, Nog, Rom, and the rest of the Ferengi go to rescue go to rescue Mugi, pardon me, from the Dominion by trading in the body of Kivan. So he is 6 with 4 points and a talent slot, and his action: target an opposing ship whose captain has a higher captain skill than you. For this game round, that captain is down by 1 captain skill and cannot use their ability. So, he's an amazing counter for the super high level captains like Shinzon, like Picard, like Kirk. You run up and you go, Mr. Picard, this round, your captain skill is 8, not 9, and no text ability. And there's no downside for it. Yelgrun doesn't get disabled or discarded. He doesn't get time tokens or Orc's power token. You can do that every single round. That's an amazing ability. It shuts down very high-powered captains. It does make your ship a bit of a target. And you don't want to put him with an admiral or a skill boost because you want him to be medium skill, because at 6 skill he could turn off Laris of the Romulans, who's a 7 skill captain and one of their best captains. So, very, very good. The final captain is Kilana. She is the Vorta that was trying to get to a crashed bug fighter, which was housed a dead or a dying changeling, which eventually got towed out by the Defiant and became the Robinson, which is a Federation bug fighter, which is a later faction pack review. Not faction pack, retail ship, sorry. Now, she is a very, very nice card. 4 skill, 2 points, with a talent slot. Okay, all good so far. Whenever a tech upgrade on her ship is disabled, 2-time token it instead. That is fantastic. She is worth putting her on another faction ship. She is worth throwing her onto a Federation ship for 3 points. All of those disabled tech become 2-time token tech. She's amazing. For only 4 skill, okay, so she's not a combat captain or not a high skill combat captain, but with a talent slot and only 2 points, you've got a lot of tech upgrades that say disable this card to do this, disable this card to do that. She makes them 2-time tokens, which means they're infinitely slowly renewable rather than have to spend actions to re-enable them. So she is amazing. I do like her. So that's our captains and admiral. Again, no ambassador, no starship construction. Elite talents, there are 2 of them. One is really, really good. One is much more situational. So the first one, spread, despair, and demoralization. Now this is from the scene where the female changeling and Dukat and Wayun are basically saying, you know, let the escape pods go because they are carrying demoralized and despairing troops that will spread fear throughout the Federation. Failing to understand the basic principle of human psychology is we're most dangerous when we've got our back to the wall. So it's a 5-point unique elite talent that is action discard. It targets all opposing ships at range 1 to 2, and they lose 1 attack and 1 defense dice this game round. That's it. Now, it's not 1 attack and defense dice every time they attack or defend. It's just 1 dice. So if it targets, say, you've got 3 enemy ships in range, each one of them gets -1 attack and defense dice, which they have to attribute to one of their attack or defense rolls. So if they're getting shot multiple times, they only get -1 dice to 1 attack. If they're making multiple attacks, only one of them suffers the -1 penalty. So it's not as good as it could be. If it was every time this game round, that would be brilliant. That would be amazingly good. However, this is 5 points for situational. It matters if they've only got 1 attack. If they're already damaged or already limited in some way, if that enemy ship is already going right at -2 dice because I've done PSF or because I've done a separate action that means me less offensive, then that's just a way of making them even less, attacky. Or if you've already worked out some way to knock their defense down, this might make them roll no defense dice for that first attack, and that first attack might be all you need. So it definitely does have a place, but it's definitely a situational one. Now, the second one is much more powerful, however, more confusing. All power to weapons. So this is a Dominion captain and a hull 5 or more. So no Galor classes or Keldons. This is Dominion battlecruiser and Jem'Hadar battleship, or DS9 or Terok North, sorry. But again, it's not faction locked to a Dominion ship, Dominion captain. So you could bring along a Dominion captain with all powered weapons and put him on any hull 5 ship, a Sovereign class or Weapon 0 or anything like that. At the start of the combat phase, place 3 time tokens on this card and disable this ship's shields. Now, this is not disable this ship's remaining shield, which means if you do not have any shields, you cannot use this. You do have to have at least 1 shield. Then you get a little continuous effect token. The continuous effect token states that while this is beside your ship, your shields must remain disabled. You may only perform green maneuvers, but you roll +3 attack dice. Now, there is obviously, that can be interpreted many ways. It depends on how you read it. Basically, it comes down to, until the time tokens have run out on all powered weapons, you get a continuous effect token, which means it's for 3 combat phases. Your shields are down. For the 2 rounds in between, you're only allowed to do green maneuvers, but all your attacks are at +3 dice. So, battleship, 6 attack dice. Now it's 9 attack dice. You only do green maneuvers. You want to do them anyway because you want to do free repair. And of course, with your shields down, it'll be hull repair. Generally, it's very powerful. It has the potential to be absolutely lethal if you can make it work. Very, very high captain skill, or some way of going, I attack first. Some way of going, if you stick him on Lurin's Bird of Prey, or anything which states that this ship attacks first with an ambush attack, for example, then this is a brilliant way of getting in that hit and going a smack. Sticking original Gul Dukat, free battle station every turn, on a Valdor or a Dederedex, or even a Reman Warbird, and then having something which says, I attack first. It's an amazing way of getting a lot of power for that one attack. The chance of you surviving the rest of the combat phase is slim, but if you do, it lasts. So if you've got 360 or if you've got multiple attacks, go for it. So that's the 2 talents. Crew upgrades. We've got a few here. So the top one, Jem'Hadar. He is a unique crew upgrade. He adds a tech slot. That's nice. Not a lot of things that add tech slots, especially not in Dominion. Activation phase. After the ship reveals a red maneuver, you put 3 time tokens on Jem'Hadar, and your ship does not receive Orcs power tokens this game round. Doesn't receive them at all for any reason. So you can reveal a red maneuver, do Jem'Hadar. No Orcs power token for the red maneuver, which means you can do your normal action. Your action could be something that says place an Orcs power token beside your ship. Doesn't matter. Do the action, no Orcs power token. The enemy hands out an Orcs power token with Ferengi photon torpedoes or with a power disruption crit. Nope, ignore them both. It is an amazing card for the turn you need to do lots of Orcsy stuff, or if you're flying through. Averter on Pulse Trap's a good one, because that would be every time you move within range 1 of it, you get an Orcs power token. Do a red maneuver and land in it. Now you don't take all your Orcs power tokens. Brilliant. So Jem'Hadar, really, really good. We've got a few generic crew now. The Jem'Hadar Elder. Now, the Elder is okay. He's a 3-point crew. End phase 3 time tokens. Battle stations tokens do not get removed from this ship this game round. So if you've got action battle stations, and in the end phase, you haven't spent that battle stations token, you can time token the Elder and keep the battle stations token into the next round. That's good. It's also a way of building your token up the turn before. So on the turn, you move forward turn 1, and right, turn 2 is combat. So you go turn 1, battle stations. In the end phase, keep the battle stations token. Next round, move, action, target lock. Now you've got target lock battle stations quality. Or even female changeling to go target lock, crew upgrade, action, and then the battle stations token. So he is useful. 3 time tokens is steep, which means that realistically you're using him once. But that one use could be really nice. And also, he's not even ship unique. If you've got multiple, you could put multiple of him on the same ship and then just cycle them through and continually keep your battle stations tokens. It's expensive and nothing's got that many crew slots, but you could do it. Jem'Hadar first. Modify attack or modify defense dice step. Now, this is a little bit confusingly written. What it means is when you're in the modify attack dice step it's your modify attack dice step, you can convert a battle stations into a hit. You can convert a battle stations into an evade in your or modify defense dice step, or you can trigger it in their modify attack or modify defense dice to convert a battle stations into a blank result. Now, again, there is errata. The errata tells you exactly how that all works, because that is a little bit confusing. But basically, he gives you ability to convert either their battle stations into blanks or your battle stations into evades and hits. Now again, it's 1 conversion for 3 time tokens and 3 points. That's steep. But again, you do have him. He's not even ship unique. If you've got 2 crew slots, you could bring 2 of him and use them both at the same time. Or do one after another. So again, he has potential, but he's, again, situational. Lamatu Khan. When attacking, if this ship spent its target lock to reroll its attack dice, you get to convert a blank to a hit. So, you know, that horrible feeling when you use your target lock and re-roll a blank into a blank and you go, well, that was a waste. Lamatu Khan gives you some assurance that you are going to get something out of this attack. So, he is very nice. Again, he's no penalty. There's no disable, discard, time tokens to use him. He is just, as long as you spend your target lock to re-roll, you get a 3 point of blank to hit conversion. Boom. Very nice. Only 2 points. And then Talak Talan. His one is action discard. Now, action discard, and it has to be on a Dominion ship. But you target all friendly ships, and you give your ship and everything within range 1 to 2 a battle stations token. It's once, it's a discard, but only 2 points. And if you bring Deos, Deos could continually. Now, there's no reason why. Say, for example, on Kilana's ship, skill 4, she does the action of Talak Talan, discards him, and gives everyone battle stations tokens. Then Deos does his action later on and re-equips Talak Talan to Kilana. She can't fire this round, but he's again available for next round. Definitely an idea. Could be something that you wanted to do, bringing him back repeatedly. He's only 2 points, and that's a really nice fleet support, which again lends into the whole Jem'Hadar synergy idea. So that's all of our crew. Tech upgrades, there's only 2. Suicide attack. And again, hoping not to get cancelled by YouTube by saying the word. But, so it's a bug fighter only, ship unique. In the activation phase, if your ship overlaps an opposing ship, target that ship and destroy this ship. Do 2 crits to their ship's hull. So it's just activation phase, you make your move. If your move crashes into an enemy ship, you target them, blow up your bug fighter, and do 2 crits to their hull through their shields. Just straight to the hull. Now, a couple of things. It's 5 points. That's expensive. You won't want to do this on a named ship. The way to play this card is put it on a 13-point generic bug and then go, ooh, it's 18 points. And put like 5 of them down and screen them towards the enemy. Because they've got to kill them, otherwise they're exploding lawn darts in the Jem'Hadar mode rather than in the Tholian mode. However, you could do it in the named ship with one addition. Unlike almost every other blow your own ship up ability, this one does not stop you from using Cheat Death. Cheat Death is the Federation elite talent that Kirk brought in Wave 0 that states when your ship is destroyed, basically remove damage cards until you only have 1 damage card remaining and your ship survives. So your bug fighter could slam into the enemy ship, destroy itself, do 2 crits to the enemy hull, trigger Cheat Death, keep yourself alive on 1 hull, and then you're there. At this point then, you could, if you're still alive in the combat phase, you could shoot. Now, that's a 5-point upgrade for the Suicide Attack, and it's bug fighter only. Cheat Death's a 5-point talent. So you have an option. If you want to do that combination, it's either a 6-point talent on a Jem'Hadar on a Dominion aligned bug, or it's a 6-point tech on the Federation bug fighter. Either way, it's an 11-point combo for a blow yourself up and don't die from it. But it might be something you want to think about because it's definitely got potential. The final one is the secondary matter system, which turns your 2 banks and 3 straight into green. Suddenly, the Jem'Hadar battleship, which requires you to do green maneuvers, gets 2 more options. It can go 2 bankers green. Or put it on the battle cruiser, and now it's got 1 banks, 2 banks, 1, 2, and 3 straight, all green. That gives it 7 green maneuvers on the battle cruiser. It is Dominion ship only, but it works on bug fighters if you just want the 3 straight as a green. It could be thrown onto the Dreadnought missile or onto a Galor or a Keldon. You know, anything Dominion can have this upgrade. Now, Dominion ship, which means it doesn't work on the Federation bug fighter because it's Dominion faction, not Jem'Hadar. Final one, weapons. There's a lot of weapons in this one. So start from the top. We have photon torpedoes. 8 dice, 5 points. Primary and secondary arc, which obviously in this mode, it just means the primary arc. Some ships have a secondary arc. For the Dominion, basically nothing apart from Ducat's Bird of Prey. But of course, this could go in any faction. You have to spend your target lock, discard your card, and you have to pick an opposing ship that is not cloaked and has no active shields. But by doing so, you get 8 dice with all battle station conversion built in. It's a finishing blow. It's this ship is not cloaked and has no active shields. Finish them. You sort of expect a Mortal Kombat finish him sort of mode when it comes on. It's also very good against the NX because the NX doesn't have any shields and doesn't cloak. And 8 dice with battle stations conversions might be enough to get through the enhanced hull playing. So, very nice card. It is a 5-point discard, which is the only problem, but it's nice. Second one, phased Polaron beam, bug fighter only. 3 dice, range 1 to 2, forward firing arc only. But again, it could go on the Robinson because it's just Jem'Hadar attack ship, as in ship class, not faction. Disable the card, pick an opposing ship, it ignores shields, and you get a battle station to hit conversion. Basically, you're firing 3 dice that ignores their shields with a 3-point of conversion. It's nice, it's good for getting through those super shielded Federation ships, or just something that's got a ton of shields. But again, only 3 dice. But again, 6-wing patrol ship. If you're next to a bug, that becomes 4 dice. And you could boost it up with 5 dice or 6 dice if you've got other ways of boosting the card. Disruptor Cannon. Now, this is the Jem'Hadar Battleship Special that uses the 45-degree secondary arc. It is... okay, not letting me equip it, but mouse over it. It's Jem'Hadar Battleship only, secondary firing arc only. Hold on, does the coding... no, okay. So, it can only be fired from the secondary arc, which means it's the forward 45. 6 dice, range 1 to 2. Now you might be saying, why would you want that? You're firing 6 dice anyway. For a 3-point discard, it requires you to have a target lock. You shoot twice. So it's 3 dice for double shot at 6. Pair it with all powder weapons. Double 9 shot. It does require a target lock, so again, you have to have them target locked. But that's where the Jem'Hadar Elder and the whole extra actions from the female changeling could come in. It's definitely got potential, and it's very, very good for either enormous things, so Borg ships, DS9, Weapon Sphere, anything like that, anything which is huge and needs a lot of killing, or if it's just good for something that's very, very, very defensive. So for a Federation defensive ship like the Sutherland or the Enterprise or anything like that with lots of bonus shields and cancellations and a defense dice, 2 9-dice attacks, that's going to peel something off. That's not going to escape unharmed. Energy Dissipator. Now this is a unique card for... I'm on the wrong ship, pardon me. For the Bugfighter. It's Bugfighter only and forward firing arc only, and it's unique. So this is from when they started attaching the Breen Energy Dissipator to the Bugfighters. Attack, discard this card for 3 dice. For every uncancelled damage you do, discard one of their tech upgrades, in addition to the normal damage. So, good against some ships. So if you manage to, you throw that at a Federation ship, even a single point of damage, discards a tech upgrade, which could be their bonus shield, their bonus defense dice. It could be their Hess, their multi-adaptive shields, reinforced hull. Suddenly they've lost 2 points of hull, even if you didn't touch the hull. So it's got a lot of potential, but you want to boost the dice. That really needs to be firing at about 5 or 6 dice to get something out of it. And the final one is Minesweeper. So something for taking care of enemy minefields. So when this ship would trigger a minefield by moving, discard the Minesweeper and target the minefield. Then roll 1 dice. On a hit crit, you remove the minefield token and it doesn't trigger. on a battle station blank, it triggers normally. So it's 2 points for a discard 50-50 shot. However, you've run through, if you've gone, oh damn, they've put cloak mines in front of me and I have to crash into them. Minesweeper gives you a 50-50 chance of completely killing the minefield and wiping them and stopping them from hitting you. It's also good for the Verteron Pulse Trap, which is the one that hands out Orcs power tokens. So it's a good shout. It is 1 per ship and it is a discard, but only 2 points. If you know you're facing someone that puts mines down, so if you're facing Romulans, I would always bring a Minesweeper, at least 1 copy of it, because someone in the Romulan fleet will have a set of cloak mines. It's usually inevitable. Klingons also have cloak mines, Federation have antimatter mines, and the Independents have got the Verteron Pulse Trap. But realistically, the ones that get used all the time are the Rom cloak mines, because they're sort of the best ones. And there we go. Let me just check to make sure there's no question mark upgrades. There is not. So that is the Dominion faction pack. There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, it's a nice chunk. For example, if all you had, for example, was Wave 0, which gave you 2 Dominion faction ships, and actually it gave you the Gore Portus and the Kraxon, so it gave you a Breen and a Galor class before you got any Jem'Hadar. Having this, it's a very, very good starter point if you want to start on Jem'Hadar, or if you're just looking to boost your Jem'Hadar fleet. Now, as with the Romulan faction pack, a word of warning, this on the secondary market is insanely expensive. Again, I've seen it go anything from the £150 price mark up. And while it's definitely worth getting, I cannot in good conscience recommend you go out and spend that much money on it. Just because I would never tell you to spend 150 quid on anything, even just a single box from this game. If it was limited edition or tournament rewards, then its rarity makes it worth more. This is a normal retail release, it's just it wasn't reprinted. So they are quite rare. Again, if you want to play them and play around with them to see if you like them, they're all on TTS, on the Star Trek Attack Wing mod on there. And obviously we run all of our events on the Discord Fremont Reformation server on there. If you do find it going somewhere, eBay, there are several sellers that are quite good. There's a Facebook marketplace as well. And you can pick it up and you want to spend however much it's worth, then by all means, if you like the Dominion, this is a pack you need to have because it has stuff in here that will do you good. If you're not so worried about the Dominion, then honestly, I would give this pack a miss. This is very much a pack either for Dominion players or completionists, because most stuff in here is not either transferable at all or transferable easily. So, A-star cards, Jem'Hadar. Absolutely brilliant in any fleet. He's 4 points in a cross-faction fleet, but he's amazing. Jem'Hadar, A-star card. Kilana, A-star card. Honestly, I will say that the secondary matter systems for the Dominion is an A-star card. It's an amazing card to have for all the Dominion ships because quite a lot of them lack maneuverability, especially the bigger ones. Decent cards that I can definitely see you. Oh, and Yelgrin, pardon me, is also another A-star top tier card. The next ones down have things like Lumatu Khan, the female changeling, all powder weapons, Deos, and then everything else is basically faction locked to the Dominion, which is things like, the Talak-Talan and the Energy Dissipator and the Suicide Attack and the Phase Polaron Beam, which are situational, but still good. So, that's my grading. That's where I think they go. Obviously, these are just my opinions. You have your own opinions. If anything, I urge you to have your own opinions. I do not want everyone to think that because I've said it, it is the right answer. I know no one would ever think that anyway, but I don't want anyone to go, oh, well, this guy on the YouTube said it and he seems to know what he's talking about, so I'll take his word for it. No. Experiment. Try them out. See what you think. You might go, actually, Female Changeling is amazing. I've used her every single time and she's brilliant. Or you might go, I can't get her to work. She's just not worth it. And both of them are valid. Depending on your playstyle, depends on how it works. So, as always, if you like the video, please like the video. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to, feel free to subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later if you don't like it, or if you get bored, or if you decide you want to get out of the game. and that's entirely fair as well. If you've got any comments you want to make, even if it's just a congratulations or a well done or a this was terrible, drop them in the comments. I'll read all the comments and I will answer any of the ones that need answering. If you want me to do a particular card or a particular ship build, then let me know. If you want me to do the Robinson earlier rather than later, because I keep mentioning it in this video, then again, I will do that pack. But again, just let me know in the comments what you like. It means a great deal for everyone, for anyone watches this, let alone many people watching it. So, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.